All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday, July 13th. I was losing track of the weekdays there for a split sec. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check across the board. Make sure that everybody can hear me loud and clear. Hopefully so. Great to see Norman, Patrick, Tony, Bill, Brian, Ray, all of our students now chatting live inside the cyber group room. And for all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, welcome on back. So, got a lot to talk about, as always, right? But to begin, I'm going to start off with a little housekeeping, and I'll probably end it with a little housekeeping. But as a quick reminder, coming up later on this afternoon, about 15 minutes after the market closes up today, we are hosting our Closing Bell webinar series. I know that Fausto brought that up when he hosted the morning meeting earlier today. So all you need to do is go right to this link here, closingbelllive.com. I'm going to copy and paste that across the chat boards here on social media for Facebook Live and YouTube for you folks first. And for all of our students, you folks already have the link, but I'm going to copy and paste again. Bruce Pringle from Bookmap. He is their chief educator. He trained me to use it a couple years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, myself and Fausto. He is great. So I look forward to it. I'm going to stick around after the close to watch him and listen to his insight. But otherwise, though, we have a lot to talk about going into this meeting, going into the close, rather. So I'll put that up at the end just to show it one last time in case if you had missed out on that link there. But AHPI, one of yet another 100+% gainer across the day today. Oh, let me get rid of that. There we go. But man, this one kind of came out of nowhere. This wasn't really on our watch list at all. There was like no activity in pre-market. And then out of nowhere, just like that, ended up making this huge spike up. I mean, even to begin to start off at like $4, $3.90, pushing up to $5. That's a really nice move to begin. So we don't really expect a stock like AHPI to start off around $3.90, $4, and for it to top off the HOD over 11. We don't expect that. It's a matter of trying to take entries based on the breaks of big levels and, based on your comfortability with taking the profit, or at least seeing what you have on the order book in terms of a target or the next resistance. You treat it level by level. So, hey, if anyone ended up holding on from the open, God bless. But again, that's not what we strive for. That's not what we do here in our trading room. Given this pop heading into the afternoon, it still seems really active. Just this order book's all over the place. Just look on the far right side of my screen here, folks. You could just see the spread fluctuating up and down, give or take 5 to 10 cents at least, on any given second. And otherwise, just very spread out orders across the bid and the ask. So, you know what? I don't need to put this on our list because of that alone, but it's very active. Maybe I'll check back in with it at the end and go from there. All right. But otherwise, again, AHPI, one of just another 100% gainer today. And this is the only one that's still up over 100%. But man, we did really well across the board. The OSAT trade from pre-market this morning. This was a stock. Was this the one breaking all-time highs? I want to make sure I am right with that. All right, so this one to me was the one that was breaking all-time highs, but I say that obviously looking at the daily chart, there seems to be some sort of activity. I don't know if that's from when it was an OTC stock, but simply put, just over the last month and a half or a month, this stock has been breaking higher, and I'm counting this year at least, given the funky daily chart, as an all-time high. The stock was breaking all-time highs today. Unfortunately, that failed to really stick after the market opened. It ended up breaking higher, got halted a couple of times actually after the open. All right, but we say it all the time with this, just like we said on the AHPI, or I could have said on that, when the volume dies off, once we happen to see a support break, the selling kick in, and the volume waning down from there, it's a wrap every time. It's a wrap. There is no sense, no need to hold on to a trade at that point. You could always get back in, just like the AHPI trade afforded us the ability to do. But for this one right now, I mean, hey, it's bouncing from 9. If you were in from 9 just now from a little slingshot under and over, that's a nice trade. But I don't know. I mean, given how much this stock moved up earlier today, dumped all the way down, I'll check back in with it tomorrow. The OSAT trade, definitely tomorrow morning, right away. But, for the meantime, unless if you're already in from 9, I don't really see as much opportunity on the way up heading into the close. The XELA trade, another stock, again, much like the last week and a half, and I really focused on this stock in particular in our Traders Talk workshop for any of our members on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube. Again, that's our weekly workshop that we host inside our live trading room. If you're interested in joining us for that workshop, or at least in our trading room across the week trial, just go right down to the link on the banner below to get yourself started. But the XELA trade, man, Oh, you know what's funny? I forgot I still have my order out here. I'm going to pull this. There we go. I'll explain what that was in a second, but I don't think it's going to be moving back up anytime soon. The XELA trade ended up making a phenomenal breakout above Thursday's high last week. Thursday's high right off of 387, I think that was. Yep, on the 8th. So it was holding it extremely well in pre-market as resistance. So, it's almost needless to be said here. Looking at the pattern, the pop above that price, it ended up taking off right from there. The rest was history. But this thing ended up just coming back down a moment ago going into the afternoon. I was in transit before we started the meeting again, so I came right back to my desk about 10 minutes before I started the meeting here. I ended up missing this big drop off, the XELA. I started to see it begin to slip from the 5 level here, and I was watching this with one of our students in a coaching session, and it wasn't like the best time of the day to take any trade, but I said to him at the time, like, you know what, if it could break back over 5 here, right here, a little pop and drop, a lot of consolidation around the level at first. We had so much volume from that price. So I was sitting here with one of our students, Joe, and I was saying, all right, well, if this could break over 5 right here, I'm in. And I'll set my stop and we'll see where it goes. Well, thank God it didn't fill me. Either way, I mean, I ended up watching this drop off afterwards, but it goes to show what goes up comes right back down. And again, same to be said, the volume died off here. Ended up kind of coming back a little bit, but once it came way back down once more, that was it. So this thing ended up completely tanking. It's possible it can make like a 15-20 cent little pop above 450 into the close, but not really too interested in it here for the afternoon. I'll check back in with it again tomorrow morning, like the OSAT. All right, so what we'll do, folks, now at this point is go from top to bottom. I mean, we talked about a couple of the percent gainers already. You got the OSAT warrants here. I don't know what that's about. Very spotty. All right, so we'll see what else we got here, though. Number 4, RCAT, ended up making a really nice pop, as you can see, right after 11 o'clock Eastern time. Another one, kind of like the AHPI, just came out of nowhere. Just popped out of nowhere from 3 all the way up towards just under 5, and ended up breaking higher heading into the afternoon. But again, what goes up comes right back down. And yeah, this trade right now, not really doing a whole lot. All right, so we keep it going. So far, we have no stocks on the main list. That's fine. Just, we have that AHPI I put on the quote-unquote side list. I'm going to be very conservative, very picky here at this point. SOHU, it's at the HOD right now, high of the day. Looks like it's approaching 52-week highs. I don't know if it's all-time highs. Just double check out of curiosity. No, by no means. Listen, it's got a really big spread, so it's one that I don't really feel the need to put on our list. I like that it's at the highs, but perhaps if the spreads were better contained, the order book just simply more liquid altogether, then I'd put it on our list. But right now we'll pass. All right, I got to remind myself that daily chart's the monthly chart for right now. XBIO, the stock's been a huge tease for us over the years, really, again, this monthly. But, the stock's been a pop and drop type of play. So even on the daily side, you could better see back in early to mid-June, it made a pop and drop. You could see here back at the end of last year, off of some news, ended up making a huge run presumptively in the pre-market, popped after the open, came all the way back down after and tanked the following days. So, just got to know your stocks. You got to know what the stock has done in its past. All stocks move up and down, right? Chart goes from left to right, stocks go up and down. But for stocks that pop and drop within the course of the same day, and for it to do it, over and over, the writing is on the wall. The BLIN trade. This one was a big dud after the market opened. Unfortunately, actually, not fully after the open. It ended up making for a nice play. I ended up missing this trade. I was pretty pissed about it. Just to go into what I was looking at here, it was more heading into the, I guess you could say 9:50, 10 o'clock time frame when it rebroke above the resistance off of 9. Right here, I had an order to buy. I was watching this, hawking it diligently, and I noticed it wasn't breaking lower. So I said, hey, if it could break back over 9, I'll look to jump in. I always say this, folks, and it's the hardest thing for a human to do. It's not even with trading. It's just, human nature. Always trust your first instinct. I ended up pulling my order. I was a little nervous about a false breakout. So I went against my initial game plan. I pulled my order, and it ended up running up without me. I mean, it wasn't like the longest trade in the world, but made for a nice 80-cent push, 90-cent push. I mean, practically up to 10, basically, right? So, man, that was a shame personally. I missed out on that because I pulled my own freaking order. I ended up dropping down towards 7 and made a bit of a retracement back up going into the early afternoon. But for right now, I'm going to pass. Good side list stock. I'll check back in with this. Probably much like the MRIN trade itself come, tomorrow morning. But yeah, for right now, let's see what else we got. All right, so we keep it pushing. Oh, man, my scanners are playing hard to get here. Let's see what else we got. OGI, I know Fausto was in from earlier today. I saw the pot stocks moving up after the open. Not a whole lot really going on, though, right now. DBGI, pop and drop type of stock. Again, the daily chart just shows you these long bars just opening and closing. I mean, man, this thing did the same thing today. I mean, it opened up and didn't really do a whole lot up until noon, and made this wacky pop. But to see a stock go from 5 up towards 677, it's going to come back down at some point. And if it keeps pushing up, granted, I mean, it's not to like completely move on. Maybe you try and get in at a higher price and just scalp it. But otherwise, you don't control this stock. Just don't let this stock control you. Right? I mean, you don't want to be stuck holding on to this trade, hoping or assuming it's going to make a high or a low, and then all of a sudden, big breakdown right here, right? So that's the last thing that you want to do. So those bad habits will unfortunately build up over time. All right, so I'll tell you, I got UXIN here on the gainers end. That's the last familiar stock that I have here on the gainers side. Let's hop over to the losers list right now. Not a whole lot really happening here. Man, MDIA down 51% today. What makes the top of the gainers list one day makes the top of the losers list the next. And if it's not the next day, then it's the day after that. That's one of my quotes. But here ended up making the full drop back down. It started to do that in the after hours last night, but even more so today. As soon as the market opened up, just dropped like a rock. Oh, it's pretty funny here. I do have a nice line at $8.30. I forgot about that. You know what? We may actually see this stock begin to make a bit of a squeeze up. This was a nice bottom going into the afternoon between this and then the top here, perhaps right off of shooting from the hip, maybe 780-ish, perhaps this peak. Maybe that could be a bottom on this trade. Keep it in mind for tomorrow. The order book's so thin, I'm not really interested in it here, even though it's at this line. We got better stocks to trade. Oh, wow. So it's bad when you got stocks that are down more percentage-wise than the TradeStation C-test symbol. It's always there. So MDIA down 50, SGOC down 49. The NECB trade, I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with. Geez, something bad had to have happened here. Holy smokes. Northeast Community Bank Corp. Don't know the ticker. Don't really care at this point, but just down big. Maybe keep it in mind as some sort of dead cat bounce opportunity if we happen to see a lot more volume getting traded on it. But yeah. This RNAS stock was interesting to me in pre-market. It was up a lot. Relatively new IPO, I believe, or direct listing or IPO, whatever. But, hey, 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning doesn't look too bad. And then I turned back as I was prepping for the morning, and this thing was dropping like a rock, and I scratched it from my list. But, man, just to see this stock, it was up 5 or 6% pre-market at that time and just completely tanked. It's down over 20, well, almost 28% here now. HEPA shortable at the lows. Not really too close to ground zero, but yeah, I feel like we'll pass. See what else we got. Really, and to be honest, we might just wrap it up here. Not a whole lot in terms of familiar names on the losers side. A lot of stocks that are just hard to borrow. Otherwise as well. Too slow. All right, so I'll toss it to you guys here. For all of us in social media, all of us inside the live trading room, let me know if there's anything up, down, left, right, more than 5% that you would want me to check out. No Bitcoin today. We'll show our Bitcoin chart going into tomorrow. I think what I'll do going forward, just to keep it simple, probably do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday ordeal on Bitcoin. Never really declared that up until now, so. All right, I'm checking Benzinga Pro really quickly. I don't see anything from the chat board or from social media, which is fine. I mean, hey, if we caught them all, that's great. Oftentimes, actually, as soon as I finish up the audio here, we'll tend to see a stock pop, and one of us will call it out inside the trading room. So, for all of us in social media, I always say it. I can't stress it enough. If you're looking to learn more, follow us further. You got to be in our live trading room. That's all. Mitch asking about the RCAT. He says, sorry if you called it out. Just joining now. No problem. Yeah, push it back up here a little bit. I didn't really write it on the side. And to be really straightforward with you, I went through the whole gainers and losers list. I'm just realizing this right now. I mean, I kind of brought it up before, but I don't have a single stock so far on our main list. So we have Jack right now. We have absolutely nothing. This RCAT making a nice little push. Spreads aren't terrible. So I guess if we're going to begin anywhere, it may as well be here, right? Not bad. Ron, regarding level 4 program, I'll private chat you. Just talk to me on the side about that, and I'll give you information about Bookmap. DD pushing up, perhaps. I mean, stock's so choppy. It's up 8% and close to the high. So we have one stock on our list. So I guess I may as well add this as well. I guess I'm a little reluctant on this one stock because it's been so shaky off the big drop from last week. CETX, nah, this is doing nothing right now, Andrew, from YouTube. It's like watching the grass grow right now. That was a stock from yesterday that moved nicely, but dumped off. We weren't swing trading that. Yeah, the AHPI at this point was the only one I kind of put on the side, and at this point we may as well add this as well. So now we got 3. Not really the best list in my opinion in terms of what we've had over the last week and a half. We've had better afternoon lists so far, but hey, perhaps this could be the calm before the storm. Perhaps once we finish up this broadcast, 3 o'clock, I jump back on the mic, myself or Rich. Perhaps something else will be running better at that point. OSAT, not a whole lot going on there either. All right, so I'll tell you, folks, that's just about it from me. Let me, I'll go a step further. I'll reload my Benzinga Pro page here. I don't know, maybe they're stuck. It can't be that. It can't be the case where there's no stocks at the highs of the day. There's got to be something here. That DD trade didn't look terrible. I'll show you right now, really, before I finish up. This is my Benzinga news feed here. I mean, this is the news feed I got on GM, but this is the signals page. And right now, these are all the stocks that are live feed at the high of the day. Not much. And this is supposed to run live and update right now. So currently the time is 2:48 Eastern. We haven't had really much over the last few minutes. Oh, you know what? Oh, shit. This could be why. Apologies. Let's see. Should be. Let's see if I... Oh, just updated. Just saw something pop up there. All right, give me a quick sec. Not much has changed. This was the only one that popped up. Oh, man, we have nothing right now at the highs. The only thing that's kind of close is that DD trade. So, again, that's already on our list for right now. But you know what? I'll call it. We don't need to, force any stocks on our list. We'll let them come to us. All right. So, all in all, we got 3 stocks to put on our watch list, and likely we'll call out a couple more once we see them pop or, show some signs of life or whatnot. All right, so for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, you know the deal at this point, at least if you're a returning member. Just make sure to like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel, that being youtube.com/cybertradingu. Otherwise, like I said from before, make sure to join us live inside our trading room, just going right down to the link on the banner below to get yourself started. And otherwise, to finish up this meeting, like I said from the very top, we have a special for today, coming up at 4:15 Eastern Time. Bruce Pringle, the chief educator of Bookmap, again, the program we nickname Level 4 otherwise. He'll be coming on our broadcast here later on today as part of our Closing Bell webinar series. So just go right to that link, closingbelllive.com. I'm going to post it on social media one more time there, closingbelllive.com. You'll go right to this page, just fill out the small form, and you'll have the invite, the link for our webinar lined up later on today. All right. All of us live inside the trading room. You just, go right to that link yourself right from our homepage, and you'll be a step ahead already. All right. I look forward to speaking with you folks later on today. Again, I'll be back on the mic at 3:30. Rich will be on pretty shortly from right now. Take care.